Happy 2024. This is New Year's Eve in Missouri. It is about 11:15 a.m. just about 45 minutes before noon here. Van Meter State Park. I'll show you a sign here in a moment of where I'm at. So it's been a very interesting year, to say the least. And we, of course, are in interesting times. What an old cliche. Here's the grasslands, and I love these in particular. Sometimes you'd see these in stores, decorating the storefront or certain types of stores. I remember Independence Center, and maybe it was like paintings or furniture and this kind of decor. But there they are, waving in the wind. And I decided to make this video in part because contemplating some things about this year, and there's so many shotgun blasts, so many that I assume we're near Missouri River at this point, and the basin here. And this is not unusual to come here and hear. I don't know if they're target practicing like skeet shooting, or if it's actual duck hunting or geese, if it's waterfowl. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it here. I don't hear any at the moment, but there are so many shotgun blasts. I assume they're shotguns, and it's like this very often out here at this point, so I assume it's just hunting down or on the Missouri River basin. And as an astrologer who's practiced and even read horoscopes and astrology readings, back then it was from the Swiss-American website Astrodienst. And that, when I say back then, around 1999, 2000, really. But in 1999, it was Dr. Louis Turi being interviewed on Jeff Rense, RENSE.com, which continues to have some very interesting news from around the world. But it was Jeff Rense interviewing Dr. Louis Turi, a French Nostradamus method astrologer. And this is where I learned from him about some of the meanings of Pluto, meaning death or death is near, investigations, police, maybe even mafia, these types of things. Now, that's from Dr. Louis Turi. But when I applied it to a Grand Cross when I was leaving Russia, it did signify that there was a situation of the loss of a pregnancy there happening with that situation. So in that situation, I've talked about on YouTube before, while I was in Russia, as a matter of fact, I believe, if not right after. So that was interesting. But Dr. Louis Turi is a fantastic astrologer, French astrologer, the Nostradamus method of astrology. His story is very fascinating. So you have Pandit Parsai's Vedic astrology, which I have his book at home right now on the planets in the 12 houses, and I use both the Rashi chart and the Navamsha chart. I've found the Navamsha chart to be especially accurate after over age 35, and hand calculated, by the way. They don't trust. I think he had written, maybe there's only 10% of the software on the market that's even accurate enough to calculate a Vedic Rashi or Navamsha chart. These have been absolutely, deeply, essentially critical, helpful, treasures, precious knowledge. But the Magi Society and Magi Astrology, and I'm deeply thankful to them, and the websites and the astrologers, the Magi astrologers over the years that have taught me and shared, not with just me, but the students or the people that study and research Magi astrology, because it's been absolutely essential and precious, and above all, in another area of astrological knowledge, a very big treasure as well. Extremely helpful tool. I mean, it's been amazing. Also, Figu out of Switzerland, Figu, Switzerland, Billy Edward Albert Myers books. And I'm finishing up the third book by Billy Edward Albert Meyer that I've read in the last, we could say, year. So it'll be the third one. The other one was Arahat Sata, and the other one after that, I'm looking at some very big geese, no wonder. And I'm hearing some fly overhead. No wonder, they're right there. So this is why you hear so many shotgun blasts now. And I don't know how many I've heard here in the last minute, but because I've been talking. But the books that Billy Edward Albert Meyer have written are a treasure, and that's why they've called this him, or that area, the guardian of the treasure, the books. So you can find out more about that in Switzerland. I've got a playlist on that, Figu, F-I-G-U, or Michael Horn's got some amazing websites on the topic, theyfly.com and theyfly.com, or theyflyblog.com and theyfly.com. I hope I said that right. This is absolutely on the fly. Speaking of fly, probably won't be able to see it in the video, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different parts of a wave, maybe 9 there. No, there's more than that. I'm seeing further out. Oh my God. It's like seeing something out of World War II movie. It extends another 10, 11, 12, 13. And then, I don't know if it's a hawk here. Probably won't be able to see that one. They're kind of flying into the headwind, so it's kind of beautiful to see that, because it makes them look like they're almost just barely moving along. But they are, that is a huge wave, let's say line, let's say front line, and then a few behind them of ducks or geese. And I did hear just a few shotgun blasts while I was explaining what I'm seeing in the sky. So there's definitely some hunting happening. I don't think anyone target practices that long, unless you've got a lot of money and a lot of ammunition to waste. So a lot of shotgun shells or bullets, whatever. So these things have been immensely helpful. And then some realizations with, my favorite book as far as the topic of magic is concerned continues to be Franz Bardon, the practice of the magic of evocation. Those, I believe, are geese. There's just 2 of them there. They must have just flown from nearby, because they're not in a big formation of like 30-some ducks or geese and a V, flying. So, but I've had some realizations that are very helpful from, taking time to contemplate. I continue with the meditation as taught by one of the publications, or in the notes with Billy Edward Albert Meyer's material, the Figu Switzerland, the concentration focused meditation on the, I think it's the 11th or the 16th. I think it's the 11th. So, because on January 11th, 2016, I started the daily meditation. But actually I have to go back and check that, because come to think about it, it's going to boil down to when we did the building film. And yes, that would be it. Yeah, okay. I was double checking myself there, because it was, I think, November 2016 that we did that. I need to go back and check that, because based on when the time of that film was, that would have been October that year. So it was earlier that year that I began. Yes, so that's it. So see, I began the meditation, the concentration focus meditation, every single day between 6 and 10 p.m. at night. The effects were dramatic within a week and a half in terms of just kind of a feather on a pillow type of feeling when it drifted, just kind of fell into a sleep. It had an immediate effect within a week and a half into the exercises, which develops incrementally, very slowly, by the way, unlike some other instructions on that kind of stuff. I've never seen anything like it, and I sold occult books through eBay and studied a number of others for many years. As I just mentioned, my favorite one of all those, outside of the Figu material, for example, which I'm not saying that's related to magic at all, because I wouldn't say that, and I'm not saying that. So anyway, I want to make that clear. I studied that before I knew about Billy Edward Albert Meyer and Figu, Switzerland. So there's just more ducks and geese. There's just more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different formations. You know, like they fly within the V formation, break the wind. So, but, so it will be on January 11th, just a week and a half from now, of 2024, the 8th solid year of daily practice of the meditation, focus, concentration, the concentration, how do I say this? The concentration, focus, meditation for me. So basically, I've used a candle flame and 30-minute meditation in the evenings, and that's almost without fail. I'd say there's probably only 6 or 7 times in the entire year that may not be a daily practice for me. It's extremely rare. So I put a lot of discipline. There goes the shotguns blast right there. 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4. Bird hunters, geese, duck, I'm sure. Let's get this marquee to describe where I'm at. One of the marquees here. Maybe we'll describe it here. Maybe it's on that other one. So it'll be 8 years that I've done the meditation concentration. Now let's say about the Missouri Indian. So it will be 8 years in a week and a half that I've done the concentration focus meditation every single day, 30 minutes a day. And I'm finishing up that book by Billy Edward Meyer, I mean on that topic, Introduction to Meditation. And there's more to learn, there's more to practice. There's other techniques and additions to the meditation, some extremely important details that I've not seen before and that I've not read before. So I'm pretty excited because, as I said, this is a daily practice for me, coming up on 8 years in just a week and a half. Here's where I am, or near. And I do the Tai Chi, no, I'm sorry, not Tai Chi, Qigong, Spring Forest Qigong meditation every single morning. And I've probably only not done that maybe 6 or 7 times maximum in this year. So every morning, this is a practice for me. I get up and do the Spring Forest Qigong level 1 exercises with the website out of Minnesota, which is where Spring Forest Qigong is based. And I practice cultivating Qi every day, the Qi exercises, for 40 minutes. Because I follow Grandmaster Chuan Lee's, I follow him. I watch it and I follow it every single morning. I also do it's about a 25-30 minute walk on Eastwood Street or wherever. 90% of the time every day. And that's generally within the first hour of sunlight. Not always, but generally within that time. I mean, the first hour or two of sunlight. So these are daily practices that I've done. The walking since, maybe that was 2011 or 12, I think 2010, 11, something like this, daily. And then the Qigong, I started at the end of August 2022. So with that practice, we're coming into, let's see, year and fifth month on that daily practice. So, and as I said, I'm at Van Meter State Park. But yeah, I'll have this book on the introduction to the meditation, because I started to read it earlier this year and I took a break from it and began to read, I believe it was the Arahata Sutta. And then after that I had just finished, I got and finished Billy's book on rebirth, death, dying, sorrow, and mourning. And I just recently finished that, so I've returned to finish the introduction to the meditation. So I'm pretty happy. I've got a few other books by Billy Edward Albert Meyer, The Might of Thoughts, The Psyche. I just got in The Way to Live, so I'll probably read The Way to Live next. I want to read Fluidal Forces tremendously. It's a really kind of a larger book. And what I'm doing is I'm reading it in the German, though I don't read German. But I scan that page in German and I read it in the English. So once I've done this, then when I go back over these books in the future, I'll just read straight through just the English. So this is the way that I'm going about reading these books. So there you are. This is a little bit. Now I've done some sauna, about 20 minutes is my goal. So I will average and try to get at least, well, I try to stick around 20 minutes, depending on how hot it is when I go in there. 20 minutes 4 times a week is my goal. And typically what I am doing in terms of dry sauna, I'd like to get infrared sauna though, and do 4 times a week, 20 minutes. Eventually my goal is to get a hot tub and do 2 to 3 times a week at a certain exact temperature, which is close to or a little bit above maybe the body temperature, for 45 minutes to an hour on those off days with the hot tub. And then the another type of exercise that I'm doing that I like to do at home. But there are some other exercises that I continue with that are just from like the physical therapy or something like this. So there are those other things that I do too. But in terms of the long-term practices, whether it's been this last year and 5 months with the Qigong, or whether it's been the 8 years, almost 8 years now, of the daily concentration focused meditation, or whether it's walking daily, these are things that are, for me, absolutely essential practice daily. So, and then also spending some time in nature, I'm beginning to try to adopt and adapt more of that into the daily routine as well, because these are essential for health. And I've also been reminded that not only through some of these through Figu's publications, but also through Dr. Nicole Appelian. I've studied some of what she writes and listened to some of her podcasts, and I've got one of her books, and now I've got a course from Dr. Nicole Appelian. She manages an autoimmune disease, her MS, and she teaches about, as have others, the importance of the medicinal mushrooms. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't give medical advice. This video is just for information, absolutely just for entertainment purposes only. I don't give medical advice. This is just for fun, but she's teaches about what mushrooms have been used in the East for thousands of years. So It's interesting. And she studied Dr. Terry Wall, I believe is her name. Wall. W-A-H-L. A university professor in Iowa and black belt who was bedbound at one point, but not now, or not last time I heard or checked anyway, with multiple sclerosis. So that's why Dr. Nicola Pellion had studied her. And she's been televised as well. She was on a really interesting TV show. So she's quite well known. So I studied her. She continues to put out blog and articles and newsletter, and she's got a course now. She just released it. So I'm going to be taking her course. So she's another person that I learned from, because she's got experience that and a level of education on autoimmune condition that no one else is, or very few people have. But just north of here in Iowa, Dr. I think it's Wall. The Wall diet is something she studied, W-A-H-L, for example. But yeah, interesting. This woman up in Iowa has a black belt and teaches university and overcame the impossible. More shotgun blasts. Welcome to Missouri, my friends, in hunting season. This is Van Meter State Park. Happy New Year 2024. And remember, this is just for fun, information, and entertainment purposes only. Have a great, great year ahead. More shotgun blasts. I tell you, if they even get 1/3 of those shots, that's a lot of birds. But if they're target practicing, one would almost wonder if it's an armory down there. Anyway, have a nice day. It's a beautiful day so far, and I'm excited that a new year is beginning.